Talk to me about what it's like to go to a game as Asher Roth. Like, are you sitting in the nosebleeds like I did when I saw Joe Jaravicius score 2 touchdowns in the last game at the Vet and Ja Rule got booed at halftime? Or are you going with like the fly guy pass and you're eating ceviche?
I honestly prefer the nosebleeds. I really do. Now, there's a little bit of both. Obviously, I try to, get the hookup when I can. Specifically for baseball games, it's kind of nice to sit close and see what these pitchers are up to. Football games for me are still kind of made for TV, so I'm there more for the tailgate, if you will. But yeah, going to the games, you throw a hat on and you chill and be up there in the what are now 400s. They used to be the 700 level, but that's kind of my favorite place to watch sports, just because you see it all and you just get to hang out with the real ones.
If you had a sports fan resume, what would be on there as the game maybe you're most proud to have attended?
The game that I'm most proud to have attended in my sports resume would honestly probably have been this Ohio State-Michigan game out there in Michigan. Was just probably the rowdiest. Being in the big house too is just like an experience. Those things aren't luxurious. It's just like concrete seating and everyone packed into a place. And so I would probably say Ohio State-Michigan rivalry game. This was maybe 2018. That was probably the most impactful sports event that I had been to personally.
Just to see that energy and just to be a part of something so iconic and big. Despite the result of that game, but yeah.
Exactly. It's a little bit different. And so that stuff in, college football specifically as well, we don't need to get too far into it with the NFL, but, college football and what that culture is and what that represents to places when you go down to like Ole Miss or Mississippi State, or you see what the SEC means. Again, what TJ had mentioned about being down in Atlanta, that was the first time I really got put on to like, Georgia football and that being a religion and what Saturday meant. And so being able to experience that on multiple occasions, even doing the Final Four tour back in the day was just like, let me get to some of these college basketball games and go around and be a part of that as well. So, yeah, whenever I can align sports with what I'm doing on the road or just with my music in general, it's a win.
That's so smart, dude. You think of screenwriters who want to go make a movie in Bora Bora, so they go write Couples Retreat, right? So Asher's like, I want to go to college sporting events with the hookup. Let me just write a college anthem that will be around for generations. When you go back and think of that time in your life, it's such a blur, obviously, but are there any shows or any schools that do stand out as having separated themselves from the rest? Because you must have done so many.
Yeah, it's really tough. And again, that time you're moving so fast. I will kind of at this moment give a shout out to Marquette, being out there in Milwaukee and,
no doubt.
And just as a
Brockman looks so confused in studio right now, by the way.
Just a good host to what we were up to. Dude, there's just so many. Florida State is a lot of fun. Once you start getting down there in Florida, we've burned some couches at Florida University as well. It's a little lawless down there in Florida. I'm sure everybody knows. So there's a lot of stories that we won't get into right now. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to just kind of use sports as a way to also see cities. But getting to Detroit and seeing how Detroit has their city lined up with Comerica Park, and then you've got Ford Field right there too. So, it's a really great way to explore a city. Even a big shout out to Chicago. I think it's really cool when some of these parks are right there in the city. Now, Philadelphia specifically, I love Citizens Bank Park and the Link as well, and they have their own little section down there in South Philly, and it's a great way to come visit Philadelphia, start in South Philly, see what's going on here, and then make your way through. So up Broad Street if you want to go that route. And obviously, as a Giants fan, I would say Oracle Park's the most beautiful ballpark in the country.